Hello friends, in this video I will explore how to integrate Spring Boot with ChatGPT. I have already created my application, so let's start it. First of all, explore the pom.xml. We have to resolve three types of dependencies. First, for the Spring AI. So for the Spring AI, you have to resolve the Spring AI bomb. Okay, in my application I am using the version 1.0.0.m5. Okay, now second, for the OpenAI we will resolve Spring AI OpenAI Spring Boot starter. Okay, and as I am creating a web application, so I need Spring Boot starter web. We need these three dependencies. For in my application I am using Spring Boot 3.4.2 version. So this was the Maven file. Now let's see what properties do we have to integrate. Here I have configured spring.ai.openai.chat.options model and spring.ai.openai.api-key. So let's know about these properties first. Spring.ai.openai.base URL. This is the base URL to connect to OpenAI and default URL is api.openai.com. Next, spring.ai.openai.api-key. API key that we create on OpenAI platform. We will create it after this. Now the third one is spring.ai.openai.organization.id. We can specify our organization in API request, it is optional. Next, spring.ai.openai.project-id. We can specify our project in API request, it is optional. Now let's see some more properties. spring.ai.openai.chat.completions-path. The path that is appended to base URL, its default value is -v1-chat-completions. Next, spring.ai.openai.chat.options.model. Specify model names such as GPT-4o, GPT-4o mini, GPT-4 turbo, GPT 3.5 turbo, etc. Default value is GPT-4o mini. Next, spring.ai.openai.chat.options.temperature. If its value is high, the output will be more random. Lower value will make results more focused and deterministic. Default value is 0.8. So these are the properties, and there are some other properties that we can check from Spring Doc. Now in my application, I am using the minimal requirement of the properties. Here I have used spring.ai.openai.chat options model. I am using GPT-3.5-turbo. This is the older version. Now this is my key. So first of all, we have to create this key, API key. For this, we have to go to platform.openai.com/API-keys. You have to log in here, and here you have to create your secret key. Create new secret key. Give the permissions. I have already created my secret key. So it is required to connect with the ChatGPT. This secret key will be our API key. So I have configured here my API key. Now we are ready to connect with the OpenAI ChatGPT. So let's start our coding. First of all, let's go to the configuration file, app config. What we have to do here is that here I am reading the value from property file, those two that I have configured here, model and API key. So I got it, chat model name in this and API key here. Now I will use these two to create chat model and OpenAI chat options. First of all, let's create the chat model. Okay, chat model is org.springframework.ai.chat.model.chat model. This is Spring AI API. So we have to create the chat model, and to create it I am using new OpenAI chat model and pass new OpenAI API and pass here the key that you have created from the OpenAI platform. I have created it as a bean and I will auto-wire in my service class. So chat model is ready. Now let's configure OpenAI chat options. Here we configure the chat model name. Our chat model name is GPT 3.5-turbo. Here we can specify the temperature. Okay, that we can configure the property file and then we can read here. So some other properties you can configure here. So in this way we have configured my OpenAI chat options. This is also been and I will auto-wire in my service class. Now let's see the service class. This is a chat service. First of all, I have auto-wired chat model and OpenAI chat options that I have configured in app config. Now, using these two, I have to get the chat response. So what we have to do that, first create the prompt. To create the prompt, we need the query, user query. Suppose I have created a method get chat response and user have passed the query, and using this query I am creating the prompt instance, and to create the prompt instance we also have to pass chat options that we have created in app config, this one. Now our prompt is ready. To interact with the OpenAI we have to execute the call method, and the call method is from chat model. So write the code like this, chat model.call, and then pass the prompt that you have created. This will return the chat response, and by chat response we can get the response from the ChatGPT. So this method is ready. Now let's come to the controller. In the controller, just a simple getting request, query request, and then returning the response. What I am doing that, I have created one more class to return the JSON response. Look at this, query and this chat response, and this is the constructor. I will create this its object. Let's see. First of all, I am getting the response from chat service. I have auto-wired the chat service and then calling get chat response that I have created, this one, and we get the chat response. Now calling the toString and we get a chat response as a string. Now create your object of user chat response, pass the query and the response that we have got it. User chat response is the object that I have created to return it. Now the response is as JSON and the status is OK. In this way, our controller is ready. To test it, we have to run our server. So let's run it. Server is started. We get an error. Let's see what is the error. Error is that you exceeded your current quota. So I am getting this error because the OpenAI key, that secret key, was only for testing purpose and my quota is exceeded. So if you get this message, this is not your fault. This is the free account limitation. Okay. So in this way, we can integrate Spring Boot with ChatGPT. Okay, thank you.